And our workshop today is entitled The 10 Tools for Maintaining Success Momentum in Tough Times. Again, I repeat that 10 tools for maintaining success momentum in tough times. Because believe it or not, we have tough times and they will knock on our door. So, again, welcome. And I am your facilitator, Dr. Carl Barnes, and it is a pleasure to be with you. So, we talk about 10 tools for your toolkit. So just imagine a toolkit. Everybody loves gifts. I like gifts because I'm a very visual person. So imagine your toolbox, and inside your toolbox for those rainy days and those days that you might not think that, you know what, where do I go to? In your closet. But I'm saying a toolkit because a toolkit is something that we have that we go to pull things out to do maintenance. So consider this a maintenance section in order to maintain your momentum for success. All right. So everyone say momentum, and success. So this is about maintaining your success momentum in those tough times. It's not if, but when. Again, it's not if, but when those tough time comes. And we do know that out there, that knock on the door, as I say, knock, 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 we would get that knock on the door. And oftentimes, it's not going to be a pleasant knock on the door. It might be sad news. It could be other things. And then you say, oh my God, I was so excited about what I'm going through, but now I just got hit in the face. Well, let me share a story with you. There was a story about a boxer who had worked with his manager on strategies to win an upcoming fight. You see, ladies and gentlemen, he lost the fight. Afterwards, his manager asked him why he didn't use the strategies that they'd worked on. The boxer said, all my plans went out the window when I started getting hit in the face. You see, just like that boxer, ladies and gentlemen, we need strategies. We need tools. We need lessons learned in order to help us to get through those tough times. Because again, it's not if, but when they come. And when they come, I want to offer you that toolkit, that toolbox that you can open up, pull out those tools that I want to give you, those 10 tools to take out when that knock comes. When you're in that boxing ring and it seems like I'm getting knocked down and I don't know why this is happening to me. But ladies and gentlemen, hold tight. Let's brace for it. I'm talking about success momentum. Repeat after me. Success momentum. That's what's going to keep you going. Success momentum. So let's move right on into these steps. So everybody say, you ready? Are you ready? Say, I'm ready. Say, I'm ready. I'm ready for my success momentum. All right. So as you're on pins and needles, let's move forward. Our first success momentum tool number one. Let's say that success momentum tool number one. Tool number one says, activate your crazy faith. Let's repeat that. Activate your crazy faith. Repeat it again. Activate crazy faith. That's tool number one. Well, you say, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm so glad you asked the question because I've encountered a lot of things in my life that people say, are you crazy? Why have you done that? A show of hands. I see your hands out there. How many of you have actually been in a situation and said, child, you crazy? You mean to tell me you invested what? You went where? To that seminar? So that's crazy faith because, ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to always understand the things you're doing to invest in yourself, to invest in your future. Why? Because they don't understand. But it's okay. I call it crazy faith. I've done things that people say, why did you do that? Well, looking back over my life, ladies and gentlemen, here at this workshop, that's when you find out there are things you must do. They're gonna look at you and say, you're gonna put it all on the line. Well, let me tell you another little story. There was a time in my life, in my career in the United States Navy, at the 15-year mark, I decided to say, you know what? I need to get out because in order to apply for this commissioning program, I had to put it all on the line. And you know, my friends, my colleagues, they say shipmates, they say, you are crazy. You're going to get to 15 years, 5 years away from retirement, and you're going to say, I'm ready to quit. Well, it wasn't that I had to quit. It's the fact that I had to get out to be a civilian for them to talk to me because they would not entertain my package of getting commissioned on active duty. So I put that request into my commanding officer, a formal request, and say, sir, I respectfully need to be terminated from my contract because I had just re-enlisted for 4 years in the Navy, getting ready for a 6-month deployment. And you know about a deployment now. You've heard about people going overseas. Well, I was that person. And I put that request in because you know what? At the time, it's like crazy faith just activated within me. I say, I need to do it now. I can't wait because my age is about to meet the cutoff. And sometimes you have to do things that people question. So, are you crazy? Yes. And so, success momentum tool number one says you have to activate crazy faith. Somebody say crazy faith. Sometimes you got to put it all on the line for a dream. You've invested so much money, and people say, I don't see any worth it. But you know what? Deep down inside, you realize that I have a dream that I believe in, that I have invested in, and I'm going to see this thing come together. It might take 5 years. For me, it took 15 years to put it all on the line, and people thought I was crazy. But that's what we want to talk about today. So tool number one, somebody say tool number one, success momentum tool number one says activate your crazy faith. Repeat again, activate crazy faith. And as we go there, let's look forward to this. So raise your hand. Has anyone ever told you that you were crazy, that you did something stupid along the way? It's like, why are you doing this? I see your hands because it happens. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. So I see your hands and I recognize that we're all in this together. Say we're all in this together and we need to encourage one another. All right. And every night I have to throw an amen because I have to have an amen up in here. Okay. All right. So let's just get down to earth and business here because I'm just telling you those things that will help you to maintain your success momentum. Now, success momentum tool number two. Somebody said tool number two. Yes, the number two, success momentum. You can tell I'm getting excited up in here. Okay. Success momentum tool number two says have an attitude of gratitude. Let me repeat that again. Ladies and gentlemen, have an attitude of gratitude. Now, you repeat after me. I must have an attitude of gratitude. Let's say that again. I must have an attitude of gratitude. So that's success momentum number two. Have an attitude of gratitude. How many of you know, and I can see your hands out there because I got mine, both of mine up, knowing that attitude determines your altitude. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when you wake up in the morning, you can decide whether you're going to have a bad attitude or not. Whether you're going to, they say, get up on the wrong side of the bed. No, I refuse to go there. That's why I start my mornings with devotion, meditation. I go for long walks and I listen to podcasts of positive and uplifting inspirational stories that help me manage to have a good attitude because attitude is what's going to get you through. So in that toolkit, you pull out, I got to have an attitude of gratitude. I've got to have an attitude of gratitude. Why? Because I'm invested so much in what I believe and my dreams, because I know that to keep this momentum going, I've got to find some strategies. I've got to find some tools in order to move forward. Somebody say move forward. It is time to move forward because remember that knock, that knock at the door is going to come. It's not if, but when. And when that knock at the door comes, you open that toolkit up and you pull out that attitude of gratitude because why? You find something to be thankful for. You find something to be grateful for. You're breathing, shelter. There's so many things we can complain about. There's so many things that we could, be fearful about. But at the end of the day, you have to say, you know what? If there's one thing, and you're taking notes in your book, your little workbook, let's list those three things. Take a few minutes and list a few things that you're grateful for right now as we continue to talk. So think about that. Take a few minutes just to list a few of those items in your workbook that say, I am grateful for A, B, and C. And you can write a long list, but we don't have a lot of time here, but just to prompt your mind and say, you know what? I need to have a better attitude. Why? Because the attitude of gratitude would take me a lot further because I know my attitude will determine my altitude in life. Amen. Somebody say amen up in here. Yes, it's been said, attitude determines your altitude. Attitude, altitude. How far do you want to go? Well, you set the stage for that. You're happy, and if you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. You remember that childhood song that says that? If you're happy and you know it, shake your head and say, I feel good today. So wake up in the morning charged and refreshed and know that something on the inside said that I'm going to get through this. Why? Because remember, you got that toolkit, and in that toolkit, in success momentum number two, you get, I'm going to have an attitude of gratitude. All right? Attitude of gratitude. So what are you most grateful for? Life, health, And as they say, the pursuit of happiness, well, I'm gonna add in the pursuit of success. But we do know that in order to maintain that success, I'm giving you tools to maintain success momentum in tough times. Because again, that knock at the door will come. And some days you can feel like I don't want to get up, but it's like, no, 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 no. Go find that toolkit. Find that toolkit and pull out that card that says, I have got to have an attitude of gratitude. Write it down in the space provided for you. And I think about someone else who had his attitude. You remember the story of Thomas Edison? Thomas Edison, when he was asked by a reporter, how did he feel to fail 1,000 times? He replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. 1,000 steps. Now, just think about that. All those steps he went through, he didn't look at it as failure. To me, that's success momentum. The fact that he kept charging, he kept pushing, he kept knocking that door down. Ain't no stopping now. That's what I said. Ain't no stopping me now. Success momentum. Keep that charge going. Light that fire on the inside of you and know that with an attitude of gratitude, you can go a long way, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're here to give you those tools, because in success, that knock at the door, that knock at the door, that knock at the door, that phone call, the text, or the Instagram, the Facebook, you're going to see something that's like, oh my God, I don't believe this happened to me. And you know what? That's when you shut it down, recompose yourself, take a deep breath, get that positive podcast, listen to this over and over again. Those notes you're taking, go back and revisit those notes and say, guess what? I've got to find my tool. Where's my toolkit? I need my toolkit. I got to find out my success momentum strategies to get through. Like that boxer, he lost it because he got hit in the face, but he forgot the strategies, the plans, the lessons that were taught to him by his manager. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember that tool. Now let's move next to success momentum tool number 3. Somebody said tool number 3, tool number 3, tool number 3. And that tool is, drum roll, listening. So repeat that, listening. So let me ask you the question. Do you consider yourself a good listener? Don't raise your hand, but think about it. Listening is the next tool. You see, we hear a lot all the time, but are you really listening attentively? You see, what I found out that 2:00 in the morning, when it's nice and quiet and nothing's going on, the TV's off, I listen to this noise in the background. When you listen, your creative thoughts are there. Some of my best thoughts have come 2, 3:00 in the morning. I get up and I hear my mother saying, always keep that pad and pencil by your bed. Why? Because things flow during that time. Everything is just settled. It's quiet. So remember, as you're listening, sometimes the voice of God is speaking. Your voice, your inner conscious is talking to you. That new song is inside of you. That new book is inside of you. That new business strategy is inside of you. That plan is inside of you. But you got to maintain calmness. You got to step back, take a deep breath, get out that pen and paper, and guess what? The thoughts start flowing. How many of you have been through that? Yes, I see the hands out there where you've got up early in the morning, 2:00, like, oh my God, I just had this big creative imagination, because that inventiveness is working in you, that creativity juices is flowing. And I've written things, went back to bed, woke up, I don't even know what I thought about, but I found that little success pad that I kept by my bed, and I wrote down those things and said, you know what? Wow, that's why I listened. So remember that tool, success momentum tool number 3 says, listening. Are you a good listener? You see, there are a lot of voices out there, but listen to that voice and say, you know what? I can do this. I can get through this. I will make it. Why? Because remember, we talked about having attitude, but listening. And sometimes we have a hard time being still and just listening. So what I've incorporated into my daily routine is that I just get a quiet place. I get my oils and my aromatherapy flowing, and just the vapors, and light my candles. And I just sit there and I just meditate. And I start thinking, because you got to create a time where you have quiet time to just do creative thinking. How many do creative thinking? If not, incorporate that into your daily practice. Or so many times in a week, say, you know what? I'm setting aside this time that I'm going to do some creative thinking. So remember, success momentum number 3 says you have got to listen. Listen. Somebody say, listen. Moving right along. Somebody say, what's the next step? What's the next tool? Well, that toolkit says the following. Success momentum tool number 4 says perseverance. 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 Somebody said perseverance. Yes, yes, yes. Perseverance. The song says, ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us now. Why? Because there's something on the inside of you. That's my grandma said, telling me to go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. So remember, success momentum tool number 4 says it's all about persevering. I read in the scripture that says the race isn't given to the swift, no to the strong, but that person that said, I'm going to endure until the end. I'm going to persevere to the end. You can be the fastest runner in the world, but my thing is like, I might come in last, but guess what? I'm going to finish it. I remember being at a graduation ceremony. It was at law school. A friend of mine was graduating from law school. And I remember the speaker so vividly saying this. She said, you might have been a magna cum laude, a summa cum laude, a laude, but you said, Lordy, I thank God I walked the stage. So some of you say, guess what? I made it. And they say, what do you call the doctor who graduated at the bottom of his class? He wasn't a straight A student, but guess what? He's still called doctor. Why? Because he walked that stage. That man, that woman, that person persevered and say, I'm going to get through this. I remember encouraging my brother, my younger brother, about 20 years ago. He had got accepted to Fayetteville State University, talking about perseverance. And I remember he opted not to go back to school, well, not even start at that, because he got a job at this tire factory in North Carolina. At the time, I was stationed in Washington, D.C. I heard the news and I was kind of, not feeling this too well. So I drove to North Carolina, picked up my brother. I said, brother, you come with me. We drove to Fayetteville State University campus. We walked that entire campus and said, look, you have no children. You're not married. You have no responsibility. We love our father. Yes, the factory job is great, but I said, you need to be on this campus. You need to get that education. And at all costs, do not volunteer to give up. Unless security put you off the campus, you graduate. I had a little refund check. I said, here, take this. Do what you got to do. But I said, failure is not an option. Let's repeat that. Failure is not an option. I said, you will finish. Ladies and gentlemen, he did finish, but it took a little perseverance from the big brother to push him and say, you can do this. So remember, sometimes we have to have that little push. Somebody have to push, you can do this. Remember, we're a team together. All I'm saying is that be persevering. Persevering, because guess what? That knock at the door is going to come. Remember the song, ain't no stopping us now. So you've come too far to stop now. So now let's continue. Let's continue. Somebody said success, momentum, tool number 5. Success, momentum, tool number 5 says asking for help. Let's repeat that. Asking for help. There's no I in team. They say team, it says together, everyone achieves more. So remember, everyone achieves. You don't see the I in team. There's no I in team. Learn to ask for help. I've been in a situation as a supervisor. Yes, as a supervisor, where I've had to ask those people that work with me, for me, can you show me how to do this? Put the ego aside. Like, humility is good as a leader. Step aside, like, can you show me what to do? Ask for help. You're business entrepreneurs out there. You got books in you. Why reinvent the wheel, ladies and gentlemen? Don't reinvent the wheel. Someone has been there, laid the path. We're on the shoulders of people that have done humongous things in their life. Read their books, read about their stories of how they overcame, how they, insurmountable odds, they overcame those things because they asked for help. That business person you're watching, that entrepreneur that you're watching, that book you're reading lessons from them, you're gaining so much momentum from them. But how do they do that? They ask for help. The most successful people are not successful on their own volition. They're successful because they have surrounded themselves with experts, people like you are getting surrounded by here at Success Fest 21, people that have been there and done it, and you aspire to be where they are. Well, I'm here to tell you that, you know what? You've got to ask for help. Hey, will you mentor me? Can you coach me? Can you help me? I want to get to where you are. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we can't get there alone. Remember, there's no I in team. There's no I in team. Together, everyone, not I, but everyone achieves so much more. So the success momentum tool number 5 says, learn to ask for help. The next tool in success momentum, tool number 6 says self-care. Self-care. Woo! Oh, okay, all right. What you mean, Mr. Preacher, Mr. Facilitator, Mr. Teacher, self-care? Yes. I'm gonna ask you the question. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of you? That person you look into the mirror every day, you got to say, am I taking care of myself? You see, I can talk from experience. I'm the poster child for, lacking self-care. I remember when I was on active duty, I had worked all day long instructing students, going to school at night, burning the candle on both ends, falling asleep at the steering wheel, not taking time out to take a breather, just pushing myself until I was in the emergency room with headaches beyond my control, migraine headaches, because I was so hungry for life and wanted to gain so much out of life until my health started suffering. One of the jobs I had that I enjoy immensely when I was in Washington, D.C., was that I used to put on retreats. And I loved it so much because I learned that during those retreats, we told our participants no cell phones, no social media. During these next 2.5 days, it's just you and your fellow colleagues. We did walks, we did exercise, we watched motivational videos, we had exercises, things that they engage in, because we had to teach about how to take care of yourselves. Even though there was retreats for couples and singles, but ladies and gentlemen, you have to learn to take care of yourself. And how many of you know how to say no is a complete sentence? No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. Because you see, me, yes, the person in front of you today, I was always the person, I'll do it. And then step back, why did I do that? Because I was always the one to say, I would do it. I would take it upon myself to do everything. But I found out I could not be Superman for everybody. And then I go home and fall out. That was not taking care of myself. I strongly encourage each and every one of you to incorporate in your daily schedule self-care. Even if it's just sitting in the corner, meditating, burning a nice candle, sitting there in solitude, meditate, yoga, whatever you do, prayer, scripture, but find a way to take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, who will? And saying no is a complete sentence. Because again, I just say yes to everything in life, everything in the military, and I succeeded very well, but it was a price to pay for that. Because now I enjoy saying no, not just because I'm trying to be facetious or anything, but because I have to look at my scale and say, you know what, is this too much for me? Can I handle this right now? It's called balance. You need to have balance in your life. Somebody say balance. Balance is part of self-care. This weekend, and I like to do what's called drive therapy. I just get in my vehicle and I just hit the road, and wherever it takes me, put on some nice Chopin, some classical music, or every now and then put some soft jazz on, and I'm loving life, because that's how I get to wind down and say, whew, take a deep breath and say, you know what? It feels good. When is the last time you did that for yourself? Self-care, ladies and gentlemen, take you a long way, because we can run ourselves raggedy. And about a car, if you don't do maintenance on it, guess what? It's not going to take you very far. So take care of yourself as you do your vehicle, because you only have one of you, one life to live. Life is short, but make the best of it. As they say, live full, die empty. And with that fullness comes, lay aside daily time for self-care. Twice a week, whatever your ritual may be, but learn to do self-care. All right? And saying no is a complete sentence. Moving right along, success momentum tool number 7 says having the right mindset. Oh, mindset. Let's repeat that again. Having the right mindset. Repeat that after me. Having the right mindset. What do you mean by having the right mindset? You know, the consciousness, there's so many things that go through our mind. It goes like 60,000 per second. I don't have it quoted exactly right, but there's so many thoughts that go through our mind every second of the day, every minute of the day, every hour of the day. Thoughts are going through our mind. But having the right mindset says, you know what am I thinking about? What am I reading today? Who am I surrounding myself with? Your mind, remember the mind, they say, is a terrible place to waste. We don't want to waste this right here because there's so much we put inside of it. We're inundated with so much negativity, so much fear. But at the end of the day, you control that. You can cut off the TV, you can cut off social media. And what I started incorporating into my life, ladies and gentlemen, I cut off my phone at night and go to sleep. I say if it's an emergency, they leave a message. I had to do that because people call all times of the night and I want to answer everything. I want to scroll, yes. Social media, it's like just to be doing it. No, take time to have a right mindset because you want to arrive fresh in the morning with fresh, innovative, and creative ideals and have those, you're flowing of juices like, oh my God, I feel great today. But your mindset says it all. You've got to have the right mindset, ladies and gentlemen. So incorporate having a right mindset because it will take you further than you want to be. Because you know what? What goes in comes out. Garbage in, garbage out, information in, information out. So what are you putting into your mind today? Positiveness. The fact that you've taken time to be a part of this workshop to find out how to have those tools in your toolkit. Remember, tools in your toolkit, because remember that knock at the door, knock, 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 it's going to come. And when it comes, when you pull all these tools out of your toolkit, it's like, okay, what do I need to do right now? Remember your attitude. Remember self-care. Now we're talking about having the right mindset. Why? Because it take you further than you ever dreamed of. Why? Because I'm thinking about the next level. I'm putting a plan together. I'm reading. I'm taking time to block out negativity. I'm surrounding myself with a different group of people that like-mindedness. Remember you heard about that? So who are you associating with? Have that right mindset. Now let's look at success momentum. Somebody says success momentum. Success momentum tool number 8. Change your circle. Change your circle. I'm going to ask you the question. Who are you hanging around? Who are you hanging around? They say you can tell a lot about a person by the 5 people they associate with. Who are you hanging around? You heard about egos and the chickens. Well, guess what? Who are you associating with? Who are you allowing to spend at your table? Who's eating at your table? So who is in your circle? That round circle, the people that you talk to every day, you work with. But I'm talking about in your inner core, your inner circle. Who is in your circle? And the next tool says for this success momentum number 8, sometimes you might have to change your circle. Some people say I have to cut some people loose, delete some phone numbers out of your phone. Okay. Delete some people out of the Facebook, cut them loose, cut them off, because why? Are they contributing to your growth? Are they contributing to your next level of success? Or are they dampening it? Or are they being, people either add, subtract, or divide? Are they adding to you? Are they subtracting from you? Or are they dividing you all up and you're just all confused and don't know what's going on with you? I want to add value to you. That's why we're giving you these tools to put in your toolkit, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, success momentum, because tough times are going to come. And when those tough times come, open that toolkit up. Pull out those tools. And this tool right now we're talking about is change your circle. It's okay to say bye to some folks. It's okay to do that because you know what? You got your focus. You got a dream. You got vision. People without a vision perish. I want you to live life. I want you to live it to the fullest, to the max, your God-given abilities, because each and every one of us has gifts and treasures and talents. Gifts and treasures and talent. Gifts, treasures, and talents that are within inside of you waiting to come out. They're screaming, I want to get out. But if you're with the wrong circle of people that's not promoting you, that's not saying, you know what, the right things in terms of your business, entrepreneur spirits, going to workshops like this, going to workshops like this, Success Fest 21. Wow. Launching your business, launching your book, those things, your record, your new label, those things are ready to get birth. And birth comes with pain sometimes, but you know what? By the time it's over with, guess what? Whoa, look what has happened. Because why? You've decided to make an investment in yourself. You invested because you're here, and I applaud you for doing that. I think you just stop and give yourself a round of applause. The fact that you've taken time to find out about getting those tools to maintain momentum in tough times. So again, who are you hanging around? Is it the egos or the chicken? You are egos, ladies and gentlemen. Each and every one of you are egos. I see that. Spread those wings and fly and go to where destination would take you. There's purpose. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. So let's move on to success momentum tool number 9. Let's say number nine, success momentum number 9. Tongue-tied is okay. I'm so excited. Can you tell that? But I love this one right here. This is a passion of mine. As you see behind me, all these books, but the next success momentum tool number 9 says to read. What are you reading? Woo! What are you reading, ladies and gentlemen? What are you reading? You see, I love books so much. I love books. Why? Because books can take you into a destiny. And you know what? I found out books can also mentor you. I've always wanted to be mentored. And I found out as I got older in life and retired from the Navy, I was surrounding myself with lots of mentors. But I found out the most mentorship to me came from my books, reading. So I'm gonna ask you the question. As you jot down in your little workbook, what are you reading? You see, I read nonfiction, fiction, I love memoirs, and I found out I have a whole section of motivation. I mean, I got Les Brown tapes, cassette tapes. I still have them. I still have all my Les Brown cassette tapes. I just audiobook on The Promised Land. I got an audiobook about you name it, I have it. Because in my car, remember, your car, your vehicle that you spend time in, like, oh, this traffic is so bad. I live in DC. I know what it means to spend hours in traffic. Make your vehicle your university, as they say. I've heard people say, make your university out of your car. When I was stationed in Tennessee, in Millington at the base, it took me about 45 minutes one way to go to work. I went to the Bible I don't know how many times because I just listened to the scriptures. And I said I didn't have time, so I put the scriptures in. You remember the Bible experience? I love that. I listened to it. I also listened to other books along the way. That's how I was able to complete a lot of my books. They said your wardrobe should not exceed your professional development. So remember, what are you reading? Read books to enhance your life, to make you more creative, to make you inquisitive, ask good questions, to be that leader, that businessman, that entrepreneur, that businesswoman that God has destined you to be. Because guess what? There's a great big world out there. And when I was a child, I said, you know what? There's a place I want to live in. I want to live there. I want to see the world. And during the Navy, while I was able to see the world. I've been to Europe. I've been to South America, places that people dream of, the Holy Land. I visited those places. The tomb, King Tut's tomb, the pyramids, I've been there. But before I got there, I would always see them on TV. But most importantly, I would read. Read yourself happy. Read yourself. Let your books become your mentorship. And then we move along with success momentum tool number 10. Face your darkness. Face your darkness. Face your darkness. Are you preparing, ladies and gentlemen, for your legacy? You see, as I retired from the Navy, I found out that it's time for me to give back. There are ways we give back. The books that are waiting to be birthed out of you, the businesses waiting to get birthed out of you. But in the process, you're leaving a legacy that after you have your demise has happened, you've got things that you've left for others to say, wow, this person impacted my life. Even after the greatest, they're making money. People still reading their books years after years after years. Look at the legacy of Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, people that are reading about it in our rich history that have made a difference. So as you think about this, think about you must face your darkness. It's not if, it's when. It's not if, it's when. I recall going to a memorial service for a VFW comrade. And that day, there were tributes to him because he was a Vietnam veteran. He had a Purple Heart. And I said to myself, as he lied with his beautiful draped flag casket, if he knew the accolades that were coming, they were saying beautiful things about his life, what are people going to say about you? Your contributions? Did you give? Did you live full, die empty? Did you pour out yourself, those gifts that's innate inside of you that God has given you to do something about it, not just sleep all day long, eat all day long, but do something about it? But again, that knock at the door is going to come. That knock at the door will come. Face your darkness. Prepare for your legacy. So we'll talk about the success momentum tools, and we've given you 10 of them that will help you to maintain that momentum, because your toolkit, remember, is there for a reason. That toolkit, because when those days when the tough time comes, the knock at the door, open that toolkit up and remind yourself of the tools we just talked about. The first tool, remember, we talked about the first tool. Say the first tool. The first tool. The first tool. Remember, the first tool says what? You have to have crazy faith. Crazy faith. Tool number two, somebody say tool number two is have an attitude of gratitude. Have an attitude of gratitude. Tool number three goes from your success momentum to listening. Listening. Somebody say listening. Success momentum tool number three is listening. Success momentum tool number four is perseverance. Say, I will persevere. Repeat that. I will persevere. Ain't no stopping me now. No, I know it's not proper English, but you know what? We just had to go there. It's like, I can't, I've come too far to stop now. Success momentum tool number five says, you must ask for help. Asking for help. Asking for help. Success momentum tool number six, self-care. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And success momentum tool number seven says, it's all about having the right mindset. Remember, it's about having the right mindset. Success momentum tool number eight, change your circle. Hang with the eagles, not the chickens. Hang with the eagles. Success momentum tool number eight. Then success momentum tool number nine says, read yourself happy. Let your books become a mentor to you. If you can't get out, read. I love investing in books. Why? Because I love reading. It takes you to unknown places. So remember, success momentum tool number 9 says read. And finally, success momentum tool number 10 says you must face your darkness. You must face your darkness. Also, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, there's a poem, and you can fill in the blanks because it talks about life. And it's like, what is life? Well, ladies and gentlemen, life is a challenge. Somebody say challenge, challenge. We meet it. Life is a gift. Say gift, gift. Accept it. Life is a sorrow. Say sorrow. Overcome it. Life is a tragedy. Somebody say tragedy. Face it. Life is a duty. Repeat it. Yes, duty. Learn to perform it. Life is a game. I didn't hear you again. Life is a game. Play it. Life is a mystery. Unfold it. Life is a song, ladies and gentlemen. Learn to sing it. Life is a great opportunity. Take advantage of it. Life is a journey. Complete it. Life is a promise. Fulfill it. Life is a beauty. Praise it. Life is a struggle. Learn to fight it. Remember, tough times, momentum. Life is a goal. Achieve it. Life, it's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. You are worth all that God has put inside of you. But remember, that knock at the door will happen. So what I've done is provide you tools for your toolkit to maintain success momentum in tough time. Maintaining success momentum in tough time. Because it's not if, it's when. I'm Dr. Carl Barnes, and I'm so glad that you decided to take time to be a part of this workshop. You have a great rest of the day. And remember, I can do this. Remember, success momentum will be there inside of you to encourage you when the tough times come. God bless you, and thank you.
Building Institute. And in my role, I get one question over and over again, and that is, Dr. Sandra, how can I reach all of the goals that I have for myself? And you know what my answer is? My answer is the only way that you can reach those goals is if you have a vision to work towards, a vision that those goals are attached to. I would like to offer you a free course on the power of personal vision so that you can learn how to reach the goals that you have for yourself, for your career, for your ministry, for all the different areas of your life. Now, just go to powerofpersonalvision.com, and sign up for my free course on the power of personal vision. Again, that site is thepowerofpersonalvision.com. Sign up for that free site so you can learn free course so that you can learn how.
That looks like a strand of yarn. God created each of us as distinct individuals from the moment we are conceived. I believe God created each of us with a unique combination. I'm Lisa Dale, a contemporary Christian business and life coach, founder of LifeWalk GPS. I help Christians ready to transition from unsure to confident by allowing them to identify the purpose God has for them based on their unique gifts, personalities, and strengths, ensuring they get it right and create the life, business, or ministry that God designed them to build.
Success starts with the drive in you. My name is Lee Tolson, and I live in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I teach physical education, and I'm the head boys basketball coach at Thunder Ridge High School. I love teaching because every day I get an opportunity to make an impact in lives. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background and talk to you about how I overcame obstacles and hardships in my life. And I will also give you some tips that you can use that will help you if you're going through a hard time in your life. Hopefully, my story will inspire you. I grew up in the inner city in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My mom was a single mom who went without sometimes so that my siblings and I had food on the table and clothes on our back. My mom's a very strong and independent woman. She went on to finish college, and she's someone that I look up to. But the truth is, growing up in the inner city was hard sometimes. I didn't like school. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd and getting in trouble. But what saved me was having people like my mom, my dad, my coaches, and my teachers who pulled me in and motivated me, inspired me, and made me believe when I didn't believe in myself. That their impact helped me. Their impact had a big influence on my life. I went on to play college basketball. I earned my bachelor's degree in kinesiology from the University of Wyoming. I received Student of the Year. I've been teaching and coaching for 12 years now. I received many accolades as a teacher and a coach, and all those things look really good on the outside. But the truth is, it's been hard getting to this point in my life. What looks good on the outside sometimes doesn't mean that everything is good on the inside. And I'm a prime example of that. On May 28, 2017, I faced a near-death experience. While visiting family and friends in Louisiana, I had a heart attack. I was in the best shape of my life. I did everything right. I worked out, I ate healthy, but I still found myself fighting for my life. When I woke up that morning, I tried to stand up and I couldn't breathe. I hit the floor. I crawled into my friend's room and I tugged him on his leg and I said, "Something's not right." But we didn't think heart attack. So I laid around and I fought the pain and I thought it was gonna go away. But as I'm laying there, I get this sharp pain and I just screamed and I said, "Something's not right. I need to get to the hospital." And to this day, I am so thankful for my friends Sarah and Lester Brooks because they helped save my life that day. When I get to the hospital, they ran tests and the doctor came back out and he said, "You're having a massive heart attack. We have to have surgery right away." At that point, I knew what I was dealing with because I lost my grandfather, my grandmother, and my uncle to heart attacks. At that point, I prayed and I put it in God's hands. 2 hours later, the doctor woke me up and said it was a successful surgery. But he looked at me and said, someone was watching over you. And I am so thankful that I'm here. I'm truly blessed to be able to share my story. And when I got home, that's when things started to change for me. That's when I went into that dark place. I struggled being by myself. I struggled driving by myself. I didn't want to do anything by myself because I feared that something would happen and no one would be around to help me. That put me in a depressed state. I struggled. I didn't want to work out. I went from doing extreme workouts to struggling doing 5-minute workouts. That put me in a dark place, and it was hard for me to get out of that place. But one night I was laying in bed and I told myself, it's not like me to give up. That's not in my DNA to give up. And I'm going to talk to you about what DNA is and what it means to me. I realized that I had a lot of fight inside of me. What DNA means to me is when you can pull from all the positive things that you learned in life and use those tools to help you through hard times. Your DNA is what makes you unique. Everybody is unique in their own way. For example, my mom would always say, never make excuses. And I found myself making excuses. And that's not in my DNA. My high school coach would always tell us, never give up, always fight. And I found myself giving up and not fighting. That's not part of my DNA. What DNA stands for is determination, never give up, and attitude. When you have the determination and the never give up attitude, you'll be ready for hard times when it hits you. And I'm gonna say that again, when you have a never give up attitude, you will be ready when hard times hit you. There are 5 ways to build a strong DNA. Number 1, you have to prepare yourself mentally for setbacks. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen. Building a strong foundation will prepare you and have you ready when you have those setbacks. Number 2, surround yourself around positive people. They're the ones who are going to lift you up when you need it the most. And number 3, digest all the positive lessons that you learn. It needs to be a part of you. That way, when you're going through something, you can pull from it. I was able to pull from all the lessons that people had taught me, had poured into me. And I was able to use it to build my strength again. Number 4, have a positive mindset. It starts with a positive attitude. And number 5, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I have people all the time, they ask me, how did I get through that dark, depressed time in my life? And I simply say there was 5 things that helped me. Number 1, I started exercising. When I started exercising again, I started to gain that confidence. When I first went to PT, they had me on a treadmill at a 1.5 speed for 10 minutes. And then eventually I found myself going at a 3.5 and walking for 3 miles on my PT days and then 3 miles on my off days. So exercising gave me that confidence that I needed. Number 2, I opened up about my fears. At first I held everything in, but when I opened up, it was a huge release for me. Number 3, I had a great support team. When you have a great support team, they're going to be able to help you through hard times. Number 4, positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. I went from why me to saying, why not me? Now I'm able to share my story and help others. Number 5, purpose. I had to realize that God has me here for a reason. So my question to you is, what is your purpose? What is your purpose in life? I have twin boys, and one of my twins was born with a rare brain disorder. And when I found that out, that put me in a depressed state. I blamed myself, but what I had to realize is that God put him for a reason, here for a reason. He has a purpose. And when I did, I was able to release everything that I was holding in. And now he's truly an inspiration to so many people. If you're going through something in your life, I want you to understand this. The road is not going to be easy. Trust me, the road is not going to be easy. But with the right mindset and determination, you will be able to build a strength to push through whatever you're going through in your life. Don't allow your setbacks to dictate your life in a negative way. And I'm going to say that again. Don't allow your setbacks to dictate your life in a negative way. Use your story to inspire and motivate others. I'm going to say that again. Use your story to inspire and motivate others. There's three keys that helped me through what I was going through in my life. Number one was goal setting. I'm a big believer of writing down your goals. So when I was going through everything, I set goals. I was like, in 2 months, I want to be able to run again. In 4 months, I want to be able to run 3 miles. I started setting goals. And what goals stand for, the G stands for gathering. You have to gather all the information, everything that you want to do. You might not be able to do it all at once, but gather it and write it down. So I started putting everything on a piece of paper. The O stands for organized and outline. So organize everything and then outline it. The A stands for accountability. Find ways to hold yourself accountable. In the morning, I post motivational quotes. And my goal is to post everything before 7 o'clock. And if I don't, I have to do 50 burpees. And no one wants to do 50 burpees at 7 in the morning. So find ways to hold yourself accountable. And the L stands for how long it's going to take you. Is it going to take you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to reach your goals? Write down how long it's going to take you to reach your goals. And my favorite is S. Once you have everything down, then you can strive to reach your goals. So again, gather, organize, outline, accountability, how long it's going to take you, then strive to reach your goals. That was huge for me. That's number one. Number two, what is your why? My why is my kids. The W stands for what are you trying to accomplish? Why are you doing it? The H stands for heart. When you're going through something in your life, you have to have the heart to push through. And the Y stands for you. It starts with you and it ends with you. And number three, believe. If you believe, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to. I gave you 5 keys to build a strong DNA, 5 ways to overcome depression, and my 3 keys to success. Remember, DNA stands for determination and a never give up attitude. And the 5 ways to build a strong DNA is prepare yourself mentally, surround yourself around positive people, digest all the positive lessons that you learn, and have a positive mindset and believe in yourself. My 5 ways to help you overcome a depressed state. Number 1, exercise. Open up about your fears. Number 3, have a good support team. Number 4, have a positive self-talk. I went from why me to why not me. Purpose. I had to realize that God has me here for a reason. So what is your purpose? In closing, I would like to say this. It starts with the drive in you. What are you going to do when life hits you hard? Everyone is unique in their own way, and everyone has a strong DNA. You have to believe it. You've had someone who has poured into you a lot of positive lessons. And when you're going through something in your life, you should be able to pull from those positive things that you learned and use them to help you through any situation. My name is Lee Tolson. You can reach me at www.leedtolson.org. That's my website. You can go to my website and all my social media accounts are on there. You can click on there and then follow me. I just want to thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you can take something from my presentation if you're going through something in your life and use it to help you. And so thank you so much. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure, and enjoy the rest of Success Fest 21.
Hi, my name is Michelle Lovin, also known as Mimi All Over. I am a 3-time best-selling author, publisher, producer, award-winning actress, a curator coach, and all-over serial entrepreneur. All of that sounds great, but I want to back up to birth.